Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Live and local from Philadelphia. Free speech lives here. It's Kayal and Company on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
And away we go, live on this Wednesday. It is indeed Kayal and Company on this hump day, April the 5th, here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Always streaming live on the Odyssey app, Twitter, Instagram, and now YouTube as we roll till 10 o'clock this morning. 855-839-1210, the phone number. Dawn Stenslin with the news. Greg Stocker is the chairman of the board. Daniel Valdez, Anthony Dorenzo, our associate producers. Off of, I would say, a beautiful, beautiful day yesterday. 75 degrees, sunny. If you sat inside yesterday and were plastered to the television or social media, and God knows on most days, I am guilty of both, but not yesterday, you are a loser. You took the L yesterday if you spent the day inside. Oh, my goodness, what a day yesterday was. Absolutely gorgeous. Dawn Stenslin, good morning. How are you? Uh-oh.
Her microphone's not working.
Oh, boy. Her microphone is not working. Well, I hear her faintly in the background. I think she said good morning. Gregory, how are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
Never been better, sir. Never been better. We've got a great big take for you today, coming off of all of the nonsense, the chicanery, and really what I would say the letdown of yesterday on many fronts.
There we go.
I think Dawn is back.
Yes.
Okay, I'm back.
There she
I'm
is.
Here.
You know,
Daniel, thank you.
when Dawn's microphone is not actually hooked up and working, it serves like 5 other purposes. And sometimes people forget that, you know, it needs to be back on for when things really matter at 6:04. But what did you do yesterday, Dawn? Did you bask in the glory of a 75-degree day?
I did. I was out with the dog, worked in the yard, went for a walk with Buddy Boy.
Oh, Buddy Boy.
You sound much better today, by the way.
Thank God.
Yes. You sound
I'm healed.
Yeah, very high-pitched, a little pop to your step today. I like that.
A little pop.
The allergies have subsided?
I think so.
Beautiful.
Knock wood.
All right. I just did. All right, we got a lot to get to this morning. Tony Bruno is going to join us as he does every other Wednesday. The man on a Twitter ban, not self-imposed, but he's still fighting the good fight. Tony Bruno will join us at 8:20 this morning. Of course, we will be all over what transpired yesterday in regards to Donald Trump. We've also got some incredible stories to get to. Believe it or not, Philadelphia and the surrounding areas of Pennsylvania, some of the best places to live in the country. It's hard to believe. We'll get to that story. Also, we have a trans woman winning a golf event. Another big day in women's sports.
Oh, no.
Proud moments.
Oh, no.
Oh, gee.
Yes. It's going to be a great story. I can't wait to get to that one.
One.
Yes. I got a holy one. Kid Rock is now boycotting Bud Light beer.
Did you see that video?
Oh, I did.
Oh, my gosh.
I did.
Can we relax a little bit, Kid Rock?
He is a hoot.
Is he? Is he?
He is.
That's what happens when you move to Nashville, man. Things happen. I can relate. And then also, we've got some woke stories from the CMT Awards. Jill Biden, sports media talking about everything but sports yet again. And also Ron DeSantis in the news. But it's not really a huge story because he hasn't officially declared yet.
If I was him, I would get out. Run.
Just move to Fiji.
Run.
Yeah.
Do not. And when I mean run, I mean don't run. Run away.
That's correct.
Because
like Forrest Gump when he's running down that driveway and he bolts around the corner.
Trump's got this locked and ready to go. Like, that's it.
That is it.
There's no other GOP contender. Everybody should just drop out right now.
Hey, yo, Asa, Vivek,
Asa,
Nikki, find something else to do.
Exactly. Exactly. There's one person that's going to be the GOP nominee, and it ain't going to be Ron DeSantis.
That is correct. But hopefully it leads to 12 straight years of GOP control. We will see. Plenty of time to get into all of that. But 6:07 here on this Wednesday morning. We swing it on over to Dawn Stensland for the first installment of Kayal and Company News.
Yes, and good morning. We are sponsored this morning by Piazza Auto Group. We have 1 dead, 4 hurt after a shooting inside a Kensington garage in Philadelphia. So Philadelphia police investigating that situation. And as well, we have a guy shot twice, then run over by a U-Haul truck early this morning in Philadelphia's East Falls section. So according to police, this happened early this morning at a Shell gas station right off of Abbotsford Avenue. This man was shot twice in the legs while he was at the gas station. Then a guy he was run over by a woman in a U-Haul truck. So that U-Haul truck was recovered on Schoolhouse Lane. Investigators say they're still looking for a third vehicle that apparently was involved in this one. Officers say that a man in the third vehicle shot the victim before the woman ran him over with the U-Haul. So the victim this morning, right now, is in critical condition at a local hospital. No word on this motive. It appears, we don't know if this was a domestic situation, some kind of a hit. We have no idea, but certainly a rather bizarre situation happening in Philadelphia with a lot of violent crime. And nationally, kind of a slow news day yesterday. I don't know what was going on.
Little something, something.
Little something, something. What a day with fast-moving, fast-breaking developments, as we saw, and we'll go through it, 2:00 in the afternoon, and all the drama in New York City with history being made. First time a former United States president, who also is the leading candidate for the job, is, according to the polls, running with an open candidacy, charged with 34 felonies in a Manhattan court. Of course, he and his lawyers seem to be at some point, were they chuckling? There were some reports that maybe they seem to be smiling in court, but we'll go through all of it. But Trump saying that he's innocent of these charges, pleading not guilty. And we know that the next in-person hearing date is set for next December. So motions due in August. What a timeline.
Threats of democracy. We'll see in December.
Yeah. That's expeditious in the minds of a judge,
Yeah,
of a government judge. Well, we're going to move this thing along quickly. Come back in August because we got a break coming up, Oh my goodness. But the best news of the day, I'm just going to tell you, look at our sports world right now. So we got our Phils. Woohoo! Finally, we get a win, beating the Yanks 4-1, and I can put our score before theirs. So we beat this Yanks 4-1. Joel Embiid. I love what Doc Rivers said, that now the MVP race is over. Embiid scored 52 points, leading our Sixers past the Celtics, 103-101. Flyers, we won, right? 4-2. No, they won, but all right.
What a sports report.
Oh, they're losers. We're the real winners. Anyway, yeah, they beat us. I thought I was gonna have a trifecta. Darn it. Flyers did lose.
To who? I'm just
Blues?
asking. The Blue.
Oh,
yes.
St. Louis.
Blues.
The Blue.
I took a bus trip there once.
Not the Blues. The St. Louis Blue.
The Blue losers.
The
The Blues losers.
Yeah.
Hey, in Chicago, it's Let's Go Brandon. That's it. That's one of the headlines this morning after the Chicago. Paul Vallis, our former school CEO, actually lost that runoff. And then, of course, we're all looking forward to the Phillies home opener. So tomorrow, very exciting. But we are sponsored by Piazza Auto Group. Shop the entire Mazda crossover and SUVs lineup at Piazza Mazda of Westchester and Reading. The 2023 Mazda CX-5, CX-9, CX-30, and CX-50 are available for immediate delivery. Find yours at piazzamazda.com, Piazza, piazzamazda.com. I always tell them, Dawn, say, we've got the T-Mobile Weather Center forecast. If you thought yesterday was beautiful, you're going to love today. 77 degrees today and mostly sunny skies. Tomorrow, we are in the 80s for the Phillies home opener. Yeah, baby, we might see some rain roll through, but still in the 80s. Feeling good. This is Kayal and Company News Live.
All right, Dawn, thank you very much. Dawn with the news. 6:12 on this Wednesday morning. Let's get to a Donald Trump big take.
The Big Take on Kayal and Company.
All right, the big take this morning, the left, their pound of flesh, and their day of rejoicing. Tuesday, April 4th, 2023, a beautiful day in Philadelphia, as well as New York City. Sunny, 75 degrees. Everything seemed perfect, right? Democrats, they waited over 7 years to have that moment, to bask in the glory of 45 being booked, processed, fingerprinted, and arraigned. Alvin Bragg's moment of legal glory coming through on his campaign promise that he ran on to become district attorney. The media gathered around for an unprecedented day in American political and criminal history. News networks going commercial free, talking heads, talking endlessly in circles as no new information is revealed while a camera is posted in front of a door, forcing the issue and reacting to the slightest of movements and nuances. And of course, the left, hoping and praying for another January 6th. MAGA Republicans showing up and defying Mayor Eric Adams and his advice to avoid violence and vandalism because this is not your city and we don't tolerate that. Everything was set up and in place for an epic showdown. It was hyped up like a blockbuster pay-per-view with the weigh-in before the actual fight. And April 4th, 2023 will go down as nothing more than a routine procedural step in the litigation process. Translation, an epic nothing burger, a biblical waste of time. Everybody was hoping for their 15 minutes of fame, and it turned out to be incredibly lame. And I'm glad. Websites, social media platforms, and every human being present in Manhattan with a smartphone hoping to capture history. And yes, yesterday was history because we have never seen this happen before, but it was also kind of a dud. The only history made was the misguided steps by District Attorney Alvin Bragg. And that is in moving forward with this incredibly weak case. We'll get to the indictment coming up in the next segment. I read all 16 pages. But according to multiple reports, there was approximately 200 people that showed up yesterday, some to support Trump, some to see him arraigned and take joy in it. Both supporters and haters divided by a metal railing about 5 yards apart, like it was the setup for the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade. Trump would go into court around 2:28 p.m., approximately 13 minutes after he was scheduled to do so. And prior to entering court, video cameras caught him entering in a video clip that is about 5 seconds long before he disappears into the courtroom. No comment made by Donald Trump, just a glance and a stare, and on his way he went. Approximately 1 hour later, Trump is then seen already in a black SUV and being escorted down the highway, leaving Manhattan to head back to Trump Force One and fly back to Mar-a-Lago as he would make a speech at 8:15 p.m. But Donald Trump, in front of cameras, silent. Think about that. Think about how odd that is. Trump is the ringmaster of any and all circuses, and he was completely mum. Because it's actually Alvin Bragg who is now the ringleader, orchestrating a completely unnecessary circus, one that many before him had declined to initiate. From a legal standpoint, Donald Trump was charged with 34 felony counts of falsifying business records in the first degree. Trump pled not guilty to all of the accounts. Bragg is alleging that Trump falsified New York business records in order to conceal damaging information and unlawful activity from American voters before and after the 2016 election. Now, the judge did not impose a gag order yesterday, but that could actually be revisited. Take a listen. Fox News reporter outside of Manhattan post-arraignment.
Prosecution handed over to Judge Juan Merchan.
Actual printouts of posts from former President Trump. I think probably the one where he's holding the baseball bat, because that did come up. They brought that up, that there's a post where he's holding a baseball bat near DA Bragg. Okay. And then they passed in these things. And Judge Merchan said he talked about the rhetoric, and he said the charged nature of these posts. And he said, please he said, I'm making a request. It's not an order at this point. I'm making a request of you and your client, to his defense attorneys and to former President Trump, refrain from making comments that could incite violence or conduct or conduct that could jeopardize the rule of law. I'm asking you to do this. And if, at this point, I'm not making an order, but if I saw a post like this in front of me again, I might think about that. Right. So that's one major thing that happened in there. And then the other is the timing you're talking about. Right.
Right.
Prosecution said that they would like a trial in January of 2024, which for all of us who watch politics intently it would be just amazing, because there we are in the heat of the presidential primaries there. We're talking about Iowa, New Hampshire, South Carolina, and the idea that Mr. Trump, former President Trump, would have to come to court every day when he wants to be campaigning every day.
The judge would go on to say that he would like to move as quickly as possible with the case. The next hearing in this case is not scheduled until December 4th, 2023, with the trial potentially starting in January of next year. Guys, that would be 8 months from now. 8 months. This is like a delayed circus like I've never seen before. But the circus did not stop last night. Shortly after 8 p.m. back at Mar-a-Lago in Florida, Donald Trump addressing the nation. Listen.
The criminal is the district attorney because he illegally leaked massive amounts of grand jury information, for which he should be prosecuted, or at a minimum, he should resign. And Alvin Bragg's wife confirmed a report that claimed her husband has Trump nailed on felonies. She has since locked down her Twitter account.
Donald Trump last night addressing many of his fans and the nation live on television to probably a crowd of about 150 to 200 people. He addressed Alvin Bragg early on, and then around the 20-minute mark made a few other comments. But by and large, if you missed it, it was really the same rhetoric and the same talking points, in part because that's part of Trump, and also in part because, as we just told you, the judge would like Donald Trump to kind of lay low in regards to commenting on the case. No gag order yet, just a request. Now, the case overall is incredibly weak. And April 4th, 2023, for all the attention it garnered, turned out to be incredibly weak. We now wait, speculate, and pontificate for 8 more months, and then see if Bragg can ultimately get a conviction. My guess after reading the indictment is the judge will probably toss this or dismiss it. It's more of an embarrassment than I ever thought it could be. We'll explain why coming up in the next segment. But in the meantime, the scene will now shift to other candidates as well as Trump's campaign and his message, rallies in the future, and all the other key figures. Joe Biden, is he really waiting until the fall of 2023 to make his official announcement? That's a report that is out there. He could be 6 months away, 7 months away from even publicly making it official. And what will Ron DeSantis do? Is he stuck in limbo? Is he dead man walking? Should he just focus on Florida and say, you know what, 2028 makes much more sense? This is a remarkable development. And at this very moment in time, the other people that have declared, Nikki Haley, Vivek Ramaswamy, Asa Hutchinson, officially running on the Republican side of things, they might as well just close up shop and head home because they've got no shot after yesterday. And maybe DeSantis has no shot as well. And then you have guys like Joe Manchin and Gavin Newsom laying in the weeds on the Democrat side of things, waiting to see what Joe Biden will do. Overall, though, the theme that I feel right now is weak. It's very weak. The case against Trump is weak. Joe Biden is weak. Some other Republican primary contenders that have declared, very weak. The state of American politics right now, very weak. And that's the big take.
The Big Take on Kayal and Company.
All right, big take on this Wednesday morning. If you want to jump in on the conversation, your reaction to anything that transpired yesterday, from anything in Manhattan, as well as the official indictment and the document, if you took the time to read it, or Trump's speech from Mar-a-Lago last night. 855-839-1210, the phone number. We're back after this with your reaction on Kayal and Company on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.